at the bottom. Jews are a kind of a strange double of the Germans themselves. You know what I mean? Jews play a very specific, and I wonder if Arabs do play this role, but they play another role, which I found fascinating. I was recently reading Lévi-Strauss' Triste Tropique, the Sad Tropique, you know, his classical big book of Claude Lévi-Strauss, and there a very strange ideological fantasy explodes at the beginning, where he says that, to cut a long story short, Islam ruined everything. His idea is that it's very sexist, reactionary. It's that West and East, by West, of course, he means Christian West, by East he means Buddhist, Hindu, blah, blah, real, Far East, are together build a harmony. They are like man and woman, reason and emotion and so on, and that if we, Western Europe, were to be allowed direct contact with the true Far East, we would have discovered our femininity, we would find a yin-yang balance and so on. But then the Muslims intervened as an obscene entity disturbing this possible sexual balance. They are, at the same time, they unnaturally, they were usurpators, how do you call it, unnaturally intruding and taking over the space of East for us, and thus masking the true, deep, feminine, blah, 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 East, while for the Easterners they appeared as West. So the idea is that they are the intruders. In this sense, maybe there is some similarity, because for an anti-Semite also, a Jew is always an intruder. Like for the Nazis, no? The idea is Jews introduced to their machinations class struggle. Without the Jews, there would have been a comradely collaboration between masters and servants, between leaders of industry and workers and so on. But Jews introduced struggle. So again, literally, Lévi-Strauss then goes into how, or it's I think in the very last pages of Triste Tropique, of how, because of Muslim, we in the West missed our great opportunity to find our balance, you know, uniting with the feminine oppressed part of our identity and so on. Here, I wrote, maybe you even can get it if some of you are interested in it, I don't know, somewhere illegally, I think it's published on the internet, I don't care, a text that I wrote about Islam, where I discovered that, of course, the Islam has an anti-feminist trust, but it's much more ambiguous and interesting. It's this very anti-Semitism betrays a much deeper fascination and with women and crucial role of women. First, if you know just a little bit about Quran and Islam, do you know that the role of women in the identity of Islam itself is absolutely crucial? And for example, there is one interesting thing about Islam, that it's not a religion of family, to simplify it very much. Judaism is a religion of family, in the sense of, you know, tradition, family, blah, blah. I mean, like the tradition of blood to be continued. Christianity, of course, Holy Family and so on, but in Islam, so I was told in books that I've read, now you can correct me if I'm wrong, Allah is never called father. Allah is not father. The original position of Islamic believer is that of an orphan. And then this famous Ummah community is a fatherless community. This is why Islam has this kind of original Islam political dynamite. The original position in Islam is not a tradition is here, community. No, we are orphans. You have to create community. And now we come to crucial points. You know that in the Islamic reading of the Bible, which is also their sacred text, you know these two wives of Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, and then you have, I forgot the name. Yeah. But she was thrown out, and her son became the first Arab, and so on in this mythology. So again, you have there the position of an orphan. You have The same with Mohammed, who, according to their official mythology, was an orphan. You have then another crucial role of women, and this is, again, this is official Islamic history. That, you know, without Khadija, Muhammad's first wife, there would have been no Islam, because the story is this one, official myth there. To Muhammad, some angel was appearing, giving him messages. Muhammad was a modest man who first thought, I'm getting crazy. Like, this must be devil. And then, who convinced him? The wife made a very simple experiment. It's a legend story. The wife told him, it's a little bit, okay, maybe chauvinist, naive, but she told him, okay, now let me embrace you while I'm fully dressed. Does that angel still give you messages? Muhammad said yes. Then Khadija, the wife, undressed herself and embraced him and said, is the angel still there? Muhammad says, no, he ran away. Then Khadija said, so it's a good angel, because he is modest, has a sense of shame when I was naked, so be sure this is a good angel. And at that point only, but you know what symbolically this means, that man can be the master, whatever, but you need woman's authority to confirm you. So even when I claim that even when they appear, and they should be condemned here, the most violently anti-feminist, there is slight ambiguity always. For example, do you know it was reported in all the media how some stupid Australian, whatever, one of their, religious guys made this scandalous statement blaming women when if they are raped, claiming this strange comparison that that women who expose themselves too much to male gaze are like, he used this tasteless metaphor, a piece of meat which is unwrapped and you leave it on the street open. And he said, if you leave the piece of meat on the street and the dog comes by and the dog eats that meat, whom will you blame? Not the dog, but the owner of the meat. And he says, it's the same for, like when a woman is raped, blah, blah. Okay, of course I'm horrified, but I cannot notice a paradox here that, what about the idea that men can resist the temptation? Men are dismissed as blind dogs. The only one who is treated as entity with minimal moral will as a subject. Men are dismissed, men are crazy like dogs. I see you, sorry, not you, whoever, half naked as a man, I jump, I cannot do it. The only, even here, the only one who is addressed as a moral subject, as it were, is woman. So if you ask me, I like much more this ambiguous relation which may, of course, oppress women, but beneath it, it's much more fascinated by the strength of a woman than this oriental idea of a woman as a mother of us all, whatever, the good protecting woman, blah, blah, blah. I, as a woman, would prefer to be nonetheless a Muslim woman than a Far East woman, how should I put it, no, the real there. So again, this is just for me a complex question, but what I am convinced is that, you know, like religions are all opportunistic. I mean, you find this, you find that. Look at Christianity. All gods, if they exist, they don't. So let us say those who wrote the text are you know how you write a religious text? You say something, then you say, but wait a minute, maybe in some situation they will not be able to follow it, so you add the opposite, you know, like, so you know with Christ you say, turn the other cheek. No, you can imagine Christ saying, yes, if somebody slaps you on left cheek, turn the right one, or whatever, and so on. But then you say, wait a minute, they cannot really do this. So then you quickly add, I don't bring love, I bring sword. If you don't hate your father and mother and sisters, you are not my follower, and so on. No, all religions are opportunistic, so I think all those who want simply to make judgment based on this, like what horrible verses you find in Quran, what horrible lines you find with Jesus Christ, that's not what matters. What matters is, how should I put it, the very basic coordinates of symbolic space. And here, I think that these three religions, here I am an absolute, how should I call them, partisan of the three religions of the book. I claim that they It's only within this space that true radical egalitarianism is possible, which you find already in Judaism in a way, which you find in Christianity with this idea, which is crucial for Jesus Christ. You know, if you don't hate your mother, your brother, blah, 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 you cannot be my follower. This really means something. This means that you can be, but you are part of the divine community, not as part of your organic social community. There is a tension here. This is an extremely important emancipatory idea that we can have a collective existence out independently of all our organic shit, you know, mother, father, tradition, and so on and so on. This is not what defines us. This is, I think, the true break with other more traditional religions or mythologies, where